Copy 1 minute. At least 16 members of the New People's Army were killed in an encounter in Dolores, Eastern Samar. Malacanang is urging Filipinos in Afghanistan to prepare for repatriation after Alert Level 4 was raised over Kabul after the Taliban's takeover. The health department says that the first confirmed case of the Lambda COVID variant in the Philippines is most likely a local infection. Amid the threats of the more transmissible COVID variants, the province of Bulacan is now back to modified ECQ status. And the Justice Department has finished its review of the PNP's case files on the deadly war on drugs. Focused and fearless. Here's a roundup of stories we're watching now. I'm Sean Yao. At least 16 members of the New People's Army, or NPA, were killed in an encounter with the military in Dolores, Eastern Samar earlier today. For the latest on that, we have Colonel Ramon Zagala, spokesperson of the AFP, joining us via Zoom. Good evening, sir. Sir, first off, do we have any updates on the number of casualties on either side? And is the encounter over or is it still ongoing?
Good evening, Sean, and to your viewers, good evening. Right now, the operation is ongoing, and we're still searching the area. We have about 16 enemy body count of the New People's Army and seized about 29 high-powered firearms. The area that in Dolores is currently subject to scouring operations so that we can find out. Since there's 29 firearms recovered, we're expecting that will there be more enemy killed or enemy still hiding that we can be able to capture anytime. So it's still ongoing, Sean.
Yeah, sir, I'm not sure, Colonel, if you're at liberty to tell us, but if you are, can you tell us what you know so far about what transpired, how it started, and where did the lead come from?
Eastern Visayas is under Joint Task Force Storm. And the Joint Task Force is a joint group of both ground, air, and naval forces. So we received information, Joint Task Force Storm received information of the presence of the enemy and that there is an encampment with the capability to make explosives. So we got this information from the citizens who had seen them, and immediately Joint Task Force Storm mobilized and planned out a mission. And this, following that planning, is an encounter that happened about 4 a.m. this morning, practically the whole day. So the 16 enemy body count and the 29 firearms is the tangible result of that information we received. The area is mountainous and isolated, so we expect that we'll be able to still continue searching and finding more bits.
All right. Colonel, were you able to confirm that, in fact, these fatalities were members of the NPA? And if so, what happens now to their remains?
Yes, they are. And there are firearms recovered. So, those remains are going to be processed, and we will ask the help also of the Philippine National Police to do crime scene investigation to process the bodies, and then we can return them to once identified, we can return them to their loved ones. We assure you that the armed forces will conduct the mission openly, and then any results that may come out, we will be open about it and tell the people about it.
All right, good to hear, Colonel. Do you have any information whether or not there were any civilians that might have been involved or caught in the crossfire? And if there are actually residents around the area, have they been relocated to a safer spot?
As of the moment, there's no report of that. The only casualties of this encounter really is the New People's Army. The troops of Joint Task Force Storm are all safe. There are no reported casualties. And we continuously monitor what's happening on the ground. For the moment, we are allowing the troops to operate and scour the area so that we can find out more of what's going on the ground. So we give them the liberty to find out more, and we will wait for further reports.
All right, thank you so much for that. That was AFP spokesperson Colonel Ramon Zagala over Zoom. Thank you so much, Colonel.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Right, moving on now to COVID-19 news. We have the health department saying that the first confirmed case of the Lambda COVID variant here in the Philippines has no travel history abroad. Greg Gregorio with the details.
The first confirmed case of the Lambda variant of SARS-CoV-2 in the Philippines is most likely a local case, according to the Health Department. Undersecretary Maria Rosario Vergeres says that the 35-year-old pregnant woman from Region 6 tested positive for COVID-19 in July 22 and has already recovered. Her sample was subjected for genome sequencing because she was a part of a clustering of cases in their area.
Pero sa ngayon, ang aming pinaka-probable na classification sa kanya, mukhang local case talaga ito. Ngayon, itong local case na ito, nasa Region 6 siya at amin pong vina-validate pa further lahat ng impormasyon na meron sa ngayon, kinukuha rin po natin yung status ng kanyang pagbabakuna.
The DOH adds that the index case will once again undergo testing while contact tracing is underway. The agency is also planning to collect samples within her community, which will be sent for genome sequencing. The Lambda variant was first detected in Peru as early as August 2020.
Mabilis na kumakalat ito ngayon sa South America, tulad po ng Chile, Argentina, Ecuador, at siya po ay namasyal na sa daigdig, pati na dito sa Pilipinas. Meron na kayong isang kaso. Ayon sa kamakailang ulat po ng World Health Organization, natagpuan na po ito sa halos 29 na mga bansa all over the world. Ang sinasabi po ng mga scientific or mga scientists, ang hindi pangkaraniwang pasama po ng mga mutations ng Lambda variant ang nagiging dahilan kung bakit mas madali siya makapanghawa.
In Chile, a preprint study showed that this variant decreases the immunity of a vaccinated individual, which is worse than the Alpha and Gamma variant. But local experts say that more information is still needed to determine the effects of the Lambda variant.
Mukhang meron siyang yung mga mutations na maaaring makaapekto sa efficacy ng ating vaccines. Pero hindi pa po ito proven.
DOH Technical Advisory Group member Dr. Anna Ong Lim points out that the Lambda variant is not yet considered as a variant of concern. Ong Lim adds that the Delta variant is more worrisome because it is more widespread.
So it really is just a matter of survival of the fittest and the fastest and the most formidable. Kaya yun ang tawag sa Delta eh. Kumbaga, mas matindi pa rin ang dating ng Delta, pero nakakalungkot na ang merong kumakalat sa atin ngayon ay Delta.
In the latest batch of samples that underwent genome sequencing, 182 samples were found to be positive for the Delta variant. As of August 15, a total of 807 Delta variant cases have been detected in the Philippines. So far, the highly infectious variant was found in nearly all regions except Caraga.
Assumption na po ng ating gobyerno ngayon is we already have that community transmission and we are acting as if there is community transmission. Mukhang yung proportion ng Delta variants dito sa ating bansa based on this initial and very rough analysis ay mukhang tumataas po talaga.
With this, the DOH has once again emphasized the importance of COVID-19 vaccines in preventing severe infections and deaths. For News 5, Greg Gregorio, we are One News.
The Health Department reported over 14,600 new COVID-19 cases on Monday. And this has brought the total caseload to over 1.7 million, some 106,000 and a half of which are still considered active. 380 duplicates were removed from the total count, 369 of which were recoveries and 1 as a death. 27 more fatalities were confirmed overnight, pushing the death toll to 30,300. Total recoveries, meanwhile, are now at over 1.6 million, with 10,600 new survivors in the last 24 hours. The DOH says that 3 cases previously tagged as recovered have been reclassified as active cases, while 22 other recoveries were changed to deaths. 23% of the 58,400 people that tested for today's DOH bulletin rendered positive results. And the province of Bulacan has reverted back to modified ECQ status amid the threat of new COVID-19 variants. Laila Pangilinan with that story.
The province of Bulacan is not spared from the continuous rise in COVID-19 cases amid the threat of more transmissible SARS-CoV-2 variants. With this, Governor Daniel Fernando is pushing for the cancellation of the national elections next year. He is asking other politicians to support his proposal.
Kumahari nga lang dahil sama-sama namin harapin ang problema. Di ba? Una kasi namumuliti kayo mga tao. Dapat no politics. Kalimutan natin politika muna. Dapat niya postpone. Sama-sama tayo, gapiin ang mga variants.
The provincial government has also set restrictions as it reverts to modified ECQ starting today until August 31. Those entering Bulacan should secure necessary documents, as officials manning the checkpoints will be strict in inspecting vehicles. Interzonal travels within NCR Plus, including Bulacan, are only allowed for authorized persons outside of residence.
Nagigpit naman kami, lalo ngayong MECQ. Lalo tayo naghihigpit. Ano? So paano sila makapasok dito? Hanapan sila ng mga IDs, yung mga dapat nilang pakitang mga dokumento na sila nagsasabing apor kami.
Bulaceños are strongly discouraged from holding mass gatherings. Governor Fernando has also given LGUs the go signal to place their areas under lockdown if need be. Aside from a liquor ban, an 8 p.m. to 5 a.m. curfew is in place. Indoor dining is allowed with 10% capacity, while individual outdoor exercises are allowed within a person's vicinity. Religious activities, wakes, weddings, and baptisms are allowed at 10% capacity, but LGUs can increase it up to 30% and only immediate family members are allowed. Bulacan has reported 469 new cases and 11 late cases, with no reported deaths and 223 new recoveries. COVID-19 vaccination has been slow due to the lack of supply.
Sa totoo lang, kulang talaga. Siyempre, mababa pa yung ating nababakunahan. Only the 12 to 13% pa lamang. Pero tuloy-tuloy. Pag sa may dumating, yun, yung allotted na vaccine na binigay sa probinsya, pag binaba na namin sa mga munisipyo iba, meron sa probinsya, dito, nagbabaksin, nagkakaroon kami ng vaccination dito sa ating Yes Pavilion, and then yung sama location na yan, ibinababa natin sa tao by means of yung ating mobile vaccination.
For News 5, Laila Pangilinan, we are One News.
All right, time to take a quick look at today's other top stories. The Foreign Affairs Department reported that at least 32 Filipinos have been evacuated from Afghanistan, which has been taken over by the Taliban. DFA Assistant Secretary Ed Menyes said that less than 130 Filipinos remain in the Central Asian country, with 19 more scheduled to leave immediately. Those who need assistance may reach out to the Philippine Embassy in Pakistan, which has jurisdiction over Afghanistan. The contact details are currently being flashed on your screens. Justice Secretary Menardo Guevara has said that his agency finished its review into cases of the drug war or tokhang deaths. He also noted that it will still be discussed with the review panel whether families of the victims will have access to the report. Guevara assured them, though, that witnesses, including family members, will all be called upon if a criminal probe is warranted. And the Makabayan bloc in the House of Representatives filed a resolution urging the Commission on Elections to extend voters' registration. The lawmakers said registration should be extended for a month or until October 31 due to, quote, to be able to, quote, deter massive voter disenfranchisement amid the pandemic. For more updates, visit News 5, the Philippine Star, and Business World online. Visit our website, onenews.ph, for more in-depth analysis. You can also catch One News on the Signal Play app. Register for a free account at www.signalplay.com and stream One News live anytime, anywhere. Masks on, wash hands, and stay safe, Philippines. I'm Sean Yao. We are One News.